So a couple of months ago we had the bright idea of putting the little bastard, now that is the little bastard drag tractor, to use in the fields at this year's silage. I mean, my thinking on this is that the secret to any good trailer tractor is going to be speed, right? Anyway, the little bastard is about the quickest tractor you're going to find around these parts, so we set to work building a bastard sized trailer so they could prove its mettle alongside the bigger rigs. So now, weeks down the line, we have what looks a lot like a finished silage trailer, and all it really remains is to wire up the trailer to make it tip, prep the tractor, because it's pretty buggered, pick a good colour to go with them red wheels, and then hit the fields. The chassis needs to have its own power source, so for that we're going to use this little battery. The same battery you've been using to tip it kind of for demonstrations over the last wee while anyway. We're going to mount this battery on the actual trailer chassis. I don't want to put it at the front where it's visible. I want to have it underneath the body. And the best real piece of real estate seems to be in the back here. There's not enough space here, plus you've got the cable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount it here, close to the back of the drum, but opposite the motor. I want as much of the weight of this trailer as possible to be transferred forwards and onto the back wheels of the little bastard, which are a bit bigger, so will serve better for flotation purposes. Also, there's going to be some relays and stuff, so we've got a little box there. I've got this trailer cable. So this is the piece that's actually meant to go in your car, on that big socket. It's usually what mounts onto the back bumper, and there is the socket that usually attaches onto the trailer. So what I was after with this was this big piece of wire, 7-core wire. So I'll cut enough of this off as I require to make the lead for this, but I'll save enough of this to install on the little bastard. Eventually what will happen is this trailer will actually find a home on the back of a small lawnmower tractor. So what we'll do is we'll have another one of these on that small lawnmower tractor and use some of these 7 cores to actually charge the battery that's in the back off the main alternator on that front tractor. But for the moment we don't need to worry about that, we just need to make the thing tip. So all this shit, we'll put this out of the way for the minute. I'll concentrate on mounting these two boys. Alright, so in order to control the trailer, we've got this little box here. So we get the big red on-off switch and also a double pole, double throw switch there. And what I want to do with this thing is, if you look at the side of the little bastard there, there's a big hole. And I want to set this just into the hole there. And yeah, it'll be kind of like the position of a position draft control on the tractor. So what I need to do is float this right there. And I think the bit I'm going to pick up on is that big bearing. There's a couple of threaded holes in that bearing that we can capitalize on. So now I just need to make a little beam that runs from there up to here to hold this in place, and that will look slick as bejesus. Alright, so the welder's turned off, shit everywhere still, and under here is kind of the tractor end of the fabrication I needed to do in order to support this trailer. So this little disc here is actually the mount point for this plug, if I can get it open. There it is. So that'll be the plug, kind of like what you have on the back of a car for a trailer, and that'll just bolt on there. If you follow this up, it actually connects on where the wheelie bar used to, and it's just kind of like a straight bar. And then on the top you've just got this nice little box poking through. So there's your on, tip, stop, down, kill. Easy enough. See this shit here? I need a fucking wireless welder. So science, get on that shit. Okay, so the trailer chassis is now in the kitchen because the work we were doing today was really just all kind of wiring here. It's actually quite simple if you know how to get the right part. Holy fuck. I'm going to try and give you an overview of what this circuit involves. This wire, when it gets a signal, oh, fucking hell. And then, fucking hell. There's a lot of what do you call that shit? Post-production involved in this after a couple of beers. Now you wouldn't have thought it, judging by the difficulty Drunken John's having in explaining it, but this is actually a fairly simple circuit. So simply put, you have a battery, a motor and a piece called a reversible winch relay. So this relay is essentially a big double pole, double throw switch. Still with me? Right. The default position for the winch relay is off. The relay will remain in the off position until it receives a current from one of these two signal wires. The signal wires connect to a 3-position toggle switch on the control unit. Only one signal wire can signal at one time. The two signal wires also incorporate limit switches, which kill the signal when the trailer body is at the top or bottom of its desired stroke, so the winch stops automatically. See? Simple. Now let's get on to the final assembly. Alright, so at long last, the trailer's together. So we got that there wee chassis we did last night, and now we put the top body on it. This little class. So when I was a kid I had a little Britain's toy tractor. It was a TW35 I think, with a little class trailer. It looked like that there. So whenever I first seen the thing all together, the proportions of it were actually pretty much bang on with the little toy trailer. So I was like, well, fuck it. Just you know, maybe like 25 years later and a slightly bigger toy trailer on it. Wired everything all up, you know, it's got the cables in place, and we got this little plug socket to go into the control system on the little bastard. So if you see here, there's the little kind of control. Hasn't actually been properly bolted in yet because it has to come out for paint, but it's in there. And then at the back it's just got that ready to plug the trailer in. So now we're just going to plug the trailer onto it and show you guys this thing working in action. If we flick this on and this up, right, so it stops just there every time, and it's because this little spring element that we have in here just contacts this limit switch and kills that circuit. But the circuit to bring it down is still unbroken, which is controlled by this limit switch. So if you want to bring it down, boof, just like that there. And I've actually adjusted it so that it comes down and then leaves some slack, because what you want is, you want the trailer body to be sitting on the chassis, not still kind of suspended by that there. There's only one thing it didn't do when it tipped there, and that was open the back door. And in order to open the back door, what we need is something that will open them when the trailer gets a suitable height. Right, so here we are, we've got this last bit sorted. So it's just a little drag link. It kind of pulls this up. It is through a little hole in the chassis, so it is free to move down to allow this to flick up when it needs to. When the trailer body tips enough, it just kind of puts tension on this and opens it. So trailer assistant. And also this shows you why the bottom of the door is rubber. So that's that now ready for Fat and Ed to come and take it the hell away. Now we just got to put this one back together.
Something missing.
Missing a couple of bits.